Live from Latrobe Motorsports Studios, this is Ride Along with Howie, from the fast half-mile track at Latrobe Speedway, where it's grassroots racing at its finest. Here's Howie.
Race fans, who's ready for another ride along with Howie? Sponsored by Latrobe Speedway and Joe's Body Shop and Towing in Fairbanks, Pennsylvania. Hey, first thing we're going to do is we're going to recap what happened last weekend at the Speedway. Our K2 Engineering Crate Late Model feature was won by the Mad Dog, Michael Doritsky, which was his fourth win in a row between three different tracks. Congratulations to the Mad Dog. Picking up the heat race wins were Troy Shields and John Over. We also had the Vintage Mods in attendance, and for the third year in a row, we had one of the Coles go into victory lane. This year, it was Hank the Hammer Coles picking up the feature win. Now we're going to talk about the Penn Ohio Series. And going into that race, it was a question of, was it going to be one of the locals or outside visitors picking up the win? Well, it went to one of the outsiders. Chris McGuire picked up the win in number 63. But right now, I'm going to be joined by the driver who finished second, representing the hometown crowd. He was our guest last week on Ride Along. Apparently, it was good luck. We're going to talk to Todd Weldon. Todd, how are you tonight?
Good, Howie. How are you? Thanks for having me again.
Thank you for coming back. And more importantly, congratulations on a great run last week with the Penn Ohio Series. Their first race of the year, our first race of the year, and to come out second in Penn Ohio touring points and leading our points has to be a little notch in your bedpost right there.
Oh, yeah. It's, running against those guys, if you can have a good finish, it's never a bad week. So we know our way around that place. And, there's really no great line around it. So it's kind of just, if you can muscle it around, you can do pretty good. And been doing that for a while. So it's, it definitely feels good to stick up against most of them, at the, I guess you could say, the hometown track. So it was a good night.
And the added purse probably put a little extra sizing in your wallet, we'll say, because being a tour race, it was a very well paid race, and that has to get you going also in the right step. Also, with the economy the way it is, getting that extra money always has to help.
Oh yeah, I mean, between fuel and tires and everything, Latrobe's the best paying track around, or one of them, on a weekly basis, and so that's part of the reason we run there. And then that added purse with the Penn Ohio show, it definitely gave us a little bit of operating money and, a couple bucks to buy some tires or maybe some fuel or, some parts that we needed or some, anything really. It's always just nice to have. And especially the way the world is right now, nobody really knows what's going to go on. So, it was all in all, it was a good weekend. We had a profitable weekend, I guess you could, if you want to call it that.
Now, Todd, are you a card player? Because you have a great poker face, and the reason why I'm saying that is all last week you kept on saying, you know what, Howie, I'm kind of mad. Our big motor had an issue, and I'm going with the small motor, and I had this mark on my calendar. I wanted to make a big splash and represent all my sponsors and home track well. A second place, you have nothing to put your head down about, Todd.
No. I mean, and like we talked about at the racetrack, that heat race, it was all I could do just to keep up. I mean, so it was, I definitely didn't have a lot of expectations going into that feature. It was, that last couple restarts, I looked up and I was in second, and I thought, how'd I get here? It wasn't like, I mean, we got around Bobby, and that's not an easy thing to do. I don't think he got past once last year. So, I mean, it's, that was pretty cool, but it definitely helped boost some confidence as far as what we're able to do and how we're able to run there. But it's not going to be any, slacker competition there weekly. Brett's fast. I know Jeff's going to be fast, and Super Joe comes out of retirement. He might, he's going to be up there too. So it'll be a fun year.
And you're kind of doing something unique. You went off the tour and you're going to run two tracks, but you're not running two tracks that are similar. You're going to the short track of Lernerville on Friday nights and the big half mile of Latrobe on Saturday nights. What all do you guys have to do like on Saturday morning to make changes to the car to be able to go to the big track?
Well, I mean, our setup pretty much stays the same, so there's nothing really on that aspect that it's a big major change. Gears, probably the most work between that and cleaning and making sure nothing broke. And usually Lernerville stays pretty smooth. Uh, I like it when it's slick because it's pretty easy on equipment that way, and you don't really have to check a whole lot. I mean, you check it, but it's not a detriment if you miss one or two things. So it's, but other than that, nothing really too extravagant. I mean, between washing it, changing gears, making sure I got my tires ready, and just dotting all your I's and crossing all your T's, really.
Hey, let's go ahead and mention the crew, the sponsors, everybody who worked their butt off last week. And like I said, you went in and you were hoping for a top 5, and you get that second place. That just has to put an extra bounce in your step.
Oh yeah, and I mean it helps with the crew too. You start finishing well, you win some races that they want to go. So like I said last week, I'd love to be able to afford to pay all my guys way in, but I can't. Even just the way the world is today, it doesn't make it any easier. But Chad and Connor, they were there both nights. My dad, my pap, my girlfriend Karina, she was there. Doing whatever she can. She takes care of the board, makes sure the lineup's good. All that. Isaac, he went with us Friday night. He wasn't able to make it Saturday, but these guys are spending their own money, their own paychecks, and their own evening away from home to come help me to work, to pay to work, really. So it's the least I could do is buy them some food or give them a shout out or something. So it's without those guys, we wouldn't be able to do it just because it is so much work. And you come in with a flat, you need guys that know what they're doing and you can trust. Like I can tell my guys, hey, put the right front on, and I don't have a problem going into a corner at 100 mile an hour. So it's having guys like that's really nice.
And you guys are all relatively the same age, and they've been consistent on your crew all the way back to the old 4-cylinder car.
Yeah, they've oh man, they started coming around probably. I mean, I started in 2011, so they probably started coming around 14, 15, around there. We were probably juniors in high school. And whenever they started, sophomores, juniors, and ever since, it's been maybe not every single week, but as much as they can. And I mean, trust me, it's more than probably they should. I mean, it's keep saying it, but they're paying their own money to come in and work for you. So it's never a bad thing. And anybody that forgets to thank their crew or isn't appreciative of that, they probably shouldn't be in a race car. So no, those guys are what makes Saturdays go a little bit smoother and Fridays go a little bit smoother, and really appreciate them.
And you're sponsored by the Hoods Up team, and they had a pretty good night down at that other track. Cody picked up the feature win and $500. So I'm sure Catullus has had to be very happy with the way the Hoods Up team was racing this past weekend.
Oh yeah, I got my Catullus racing shirt on now. Yeah, they were that's it. We were sitting around waiting for the feature at Latrobe and thinking it was going to rain. And Karina, she said Cody won he started 10th. His dad had a 10-car lead, and he drug him down and passed him and had a straightaway on him at the end. And I thought, I texted him. I said, congratulations, but why you got to outdo me all the time? It's always something. So, but no, they did great, and happy that everybody had a solid weekend. No, for once, no broken or blown up stuff. So it's you can load it. It starts, stops, and steers to the end of the night. It's a good night. So I think we all did pretty good.
And I'm sure you're going to like the sound of this, but thank you for your time tonight to our point leader in the Pro Stocks, Mr. Todd Weldon. Todd, thanks for going for a ride again.
Thanks, Howie. I appreciate it. And yeah, we'll see you guys Saturday.
Definitely. And hey, I know you had a problem with your helmet blower. Make sure you have that thing working because it's going to be hot this weekend.
Oh yeah, that's the first thing I fixed this week, so we're all good.
All right. Hey, Todd, thanks again. We're going to continue with our wrap-up. You're welcome to stay on, or you want to go work on that car and make her a little bit faster, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I'm going to jump off. I got some things I got to get done and make sure we're all ready to go, and hopefully we can give them a good run Saturday.
Definitely. Thanks again, Todd, for your time. And again, That's Todd Weldon, pilot of the Two Dogs in the Fry. Hoods up, number 45.
Thanks, Howie.
Picking up the win in the Pure Stocks, debuting a brand new car. They spent all winter building and weren't even sure they were going to make it to the track. Your three-time defending track champion, Anthony Monopart, in this number 66. Another tribute to his father, who drove that car and that number for Frank Novak, and to Joe Kelly. Picking up the heat race wins was Justin Ruff and John Kane. Now let's go to our four-cylinder, and what a night it was. Picking up the feature win, his second year in a row picking up the win on opening night was Dale Grubbs in the Hodge transmission number 66. Picking up heat race wins were Dale Grubbs, Jeremy Grubbs, and Colton McNanney. Now, Colton's going to be a guest with us coming up soon tonight, but you missed a great night of racing. And we also debuted the stock class, and picking up the feature win there was Joe Jacobs. Now, coming up this week, Pure Stocks are off, and we're bringing in the 305 sprint cars. We'll have the sprint cars, the crate late models, the Pro Stocks, four-cylinder modified, and four-cylinder stock, all racing at the Ultra Fast Half Mile. For all the latest information, be sure to check out Latrobe Speedway's Facebook page or our website. Coming up, we're going to be interviewing a driver who picked up a heat race win and finished second in the modified four-cylinder race. Colton McNaney will be joining us soon for a ride-along. Don't go anywhere, fans. Race fans, right now I'm going to be joined by a driver who Saturday night had a career best finish at Latrobe of second place, picked up a heat race win. It was a great night, but it started out earlier when his mom and brothers and sisters graced us with the singing of the national anthem, and Colton McNaney was nice enough to carry the flag around the track. And, you know, I knew right then and there it was going to be a good night.
Yeah, that was a real honor, Howie. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for doing it. And Colton, you're new to racing. Last year was your first year, and don't come from a racing family. You guys decided, you saw the rules, and the way I understand it, you were sitting around one night, maybe having a few cocktails, and had a hat and drew some straws, and you drew the long one or the short one. But anyway, you ended up being the driver of the car. And
right.
You know, last year you went into it with no knowledge of racing, and you and your buddies built a car, and you were progressing throughout the year. At the end of the year up at Lernerville, you picked up second place in their big four-cylinder race. And, you know, this winter you knew had an idea on what to do to make the car faster, and came out. And, I mean, that's a fast Chevrolet you have under you.
Thank you. Yeah, we ended up building a whole new one this year after we learned some stuff, and it looks the same, but it's a new car. It's got a new cage in it, and we built it over the winter. We started in about probably the end of November, and finished it up in time to go to Bedford for their opening practice. So
now, what did you do with the old car?
She's in a scrap pile somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the heart got transplanted, but that was about it that came from it.
Okay. Well, you did a nice job on the car. It looks really nice. And after building that first one, did you have an idea on what you wanted to do different to this one, or it was still just get in there and figure it out as you go?
This one had a manual in it, so it was a little bit of a learning curve because our last car was an automatic. But weight was a big thing we ended up changing, and changed our fuel system a little bit and some engine parts, and it's a whole different animal.
Now, I always refer to when somebody gets a new car, it's kind of like dating.
Yeah.
Not every girl likes flowers. Not every girl likes candy. You got to find that sweet spot. And, I mean, you guys, it looks like you found that car. Like I said, I mean, she's flying around that track.
Yeah, it's we picked it up pretty quick after last year. It's kind of the same thing, but like you said, they're all different. We've actually had it out, I think, close to 7 or 8 times so far. So we've had our learning curve so far, and Latrobe was, I think, our eighth race this season. So we had her pretty dialed in.
And is it nice when you get back to somewhere that's familiar? I mean, you've only been racing one full season, but
Right.
in that year, probably, I don't know, 70-80% of your laps came at Latrobe. So it
For sure. Yeah.
has to feel a little confidence when you're pulling into the track. Okay, I know what to expect, per se.
Yeah. You know what the track's going to do. And we just kind of had to bring the track was going to come to us. We had to take the car to the track pretty much.
And how hard is it when you go to a different track? New drivers, new everything. They don't know you, you don't know them, and
yeah, it's kind of got to find your place. You know where you belong. You got to accept the fact that you know nothing about the track, and that you're gonna take you time to figure it out. And even at coming back to Latrobe with a whole different car, we ended up changing our tire size because our car was running a little bit lower RPM than we wanted for the hot laps, and figured out the right tire size, and she was moving.
if I would have told you a year and a half ago that Colton, come opening day 2022, you're going to be one of the cars to beat, what would you have said to me?
I probably would have laughed at you. Yeah,
I mean,
it was a lot. It's a lot. Learning and listening and seeing it work and seeing what doesn't work. And
what made you decide to do this?
me and my buddies had taken a load of scrap into the scrapyard, and we were stopped to eat lunch on the way home, and there was a Chevy Cobalt popped up for sale about 25 minutes from my house, and that's where it all started.
And one thing, racers are very superstitious. You kind of threw that away. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but green is not necessarily racer's number one color option.
Yeah, that's funny you say that, because the first time we heard anything about it was at the banquet when you had mentioned it last year. So we had no idea.
Where did the green and black and the number 51 come from?
The green's my favorite color for sure, and then 51 was my high school football number, and it also actually turns out to be the exit number I live off of.
Okay. So you built the car, built a new car for this year, and transplanted the motor. But it looks like you picked up some more sponsors over the winter too, which is always nice.
Yeah, we brought on a few more. Castle Service and Installation came on from last year again. RJ Staso as well. Harris Auto Repair. And then we gained Pasternak Electric and the Veterans Club of Wino this year.
Veterans Club of Wino. That's located in downtown Wino, if anybody's familiar with it.
It's 0.7 miles from my house.
Okay. I spent some time down in Wino, down at that location.
Yeah, we've been there. We spent a lot of time in the winter, a lot of Friday nights down there over the winter.
That's where you guys are getting together and coming up with ideas for the race car, right?
Yeah, that's where the crazy ideas for the race car come. And we sort them out in the morning.
Hopefully you remember them. You got to write them down.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Your whole family jumped into this full board, and it wasn't. What did they say when you first came home and said, "Hey, guess what? We're going racing"?
Yeah, it was all. They're all very supportive. Everyone jumped on board. My stepmom, my grandma were skeptical, and they're always worried. But everybody helps out. Everybody comes and supports us. My dad's always helping us with the car. My buddy Hunter, my buddy Johnny, and just it all comes together. Really, it keeps us busy and keeps us focused on something, and it's just a lot of fun together.
Did you ever watch NASCAR or any type of racing before?
Growing up, my dad had taken us to Motordrome a lot. We didn't really go to dirt tracks growing up, and then went to a few dirt races as a teenager with my friends. And my dad watched NASCAR, but that was about it. I never really got into it.
I mean, we mentioned it just came one night. You guys decided to do this, but what made you decide to say, listen, I'll drive it?
I had found the car, and at the time I had the money, and it just all went downhill from there.
You say downhill, but I'm saying uphill because
uphill, yeah. it depends on the night.
Yeah. What do you enjoy most about racing? The competition, the friends you made, hanging out in the pits, maybe
Yeah,
cocktails afterwards.
it's all of it, man. It's a great group of people to be around every week, all summer long. It's something to keep us busy. We made a blast. I mean, we have a blast at all the events. Lots of friends. You know, we have friends from classes that are above us and below us. It's just a big family.
And like I said, your family heavily involved too. Your actual family, sisters and everybody singing the national anthem, there to cheer you on. And your one sister, I thought she was going to take a swing at me because apparently I said your name wrong.
Oh, I heard all about it. Yeah.
But Colton, let's go ahead and thank all the sponsors on that car.
Yeah, like I said, Castle Service and Installation, Harris Auto Repair, RJ Staso Heating and Cooling, Pasternak Electric, and the Veterans Club of Wino, and all my friends and family.
Who was the first to come up and sponsor?
It was Harris Auto and RJ Staso Heating and Cooling. They both kind of came on at the same time, and then Castle Service came on last year, and then, like I said, we picked those two up this year, and everybody jumped on board again for another year. So
now RJ sponsored cars before he even owned cars. I don't know if you're aware of that or not.
I did not know.
Yeah, Bob owns that, right?
Yeah, that's my dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He has a pure stock S10 that we're building.
He's a drag racer.
No, dirt track.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first sponsor is your dad. That was a good sign then.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Everyone's there, man. It's great.
And your pit crew, Hunter, still there, and everybody.
Yeah, Hunter. Tyler ended up getting a new job this year, so he's not able to make it to quite as many races, and my buddy Johnny too.
Now, last year, what was the hardest thing about adjusting to racing?
Well, we went through a lot of parts towards the beginning of the year when we were learning, a lot of parts, and just figuring out, like I said, what worked and what doesn't, what makes it faster, what makes it slower, and what makes me more comfortable in the car, and tire pressure, and it's a big game.
Anybody come and try to coach you, or you were just trying?
Yeah, for sure. Last year, Joe Huffman helped us a lot. And then, like I said, everybody helps everybody. So I don't remember everybody for sure, but I know Joe helped us a lot. Tyler did too. And then like anybody you ask, they'll pretty much help you out with whatever you need.
That's one of the great things about the four cylinders.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say you're one big family, but it doesn't matter who wins. You guys all go and celebrate.
Right. Yeah. It's awesome, man. And even like Friday nights, I've been up at Roaring Knob, and everyone's starting to grow on each other up there, and it's like a second family.
Do you want to move up eventually, or are you happy with the four cylinders?
Time will tell, but for right now, we're having a blast where we're at. So.
You said something about your dad's building a car.
Yeah, he actually bought a pure stock S10, but it had a small motor in it, and we took it to Roaring Knob for a practice, and he blew it up. So we're swapping it right now.
Are you going to race against that, or he'll run it in the pure stocks?
He'll be in the pure stock, yeah.
Well, it's going to be fun at the track, and I'm sure you guys are going to have fun working in the garage. I'd like to thank Colton McNanney for going along for a ride tonight. And Colton, good luck. And I'm telling you, that first win's right around that corner, man.
We're hunting for it. Thanks, Howie. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And tell your sister I got your name right. I don't need her coming to try to beat me up again.
Okay, I will.
All right. Race fifth is Colton McNanney going for a ride along with Howie, sponsored by Latrobe Speedway and Joe's Body Shop and Towing out of Fairbanks, Pennsylvania. Thanks, guys. Mike, thanks for taking time to join us. But more importantly, you're going to be joining us this upcoming Saturday, aren't you?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Let's hope it certainly looks like I was watching some of the local KDKA and WTA weather forecasts, things look good for Westmoreland County Saturday. So let's pack the joint, people. It's going to be a warm, hot day, and the race in action, I think, will be just as hot. The weather for Saturday looks absolutely perfect. So let's do this. Let's get it on, people.
We're going to have a great time. And
we absolutely are.
Last Saturday, picking up the win in the K2 Engineering Crate Late Models was the Mad Dog, Michael Doritsky. And the Penn Ohio Series invaded, and Chris McGuire picked up the win. But on a high note, Todd Weldon, one of our locals, finished second. He's also leading our points. You're I don't want to say your favorite driver because you don't have a favorite, but
we love them all.
Yeah, a driver who looks up to you a lot. Old Moon Eyes himself.
Moon Eyes, yep, Moon Eyes Montepart.
Well, I'm gonna give you a little secret. They built a new car over the winter. It's no longer the 100, but you inspired the name of the chassis, the Boob's Eye chassis number 66. You're to blame for that one, Mike, not me.
Guilty. Guilty is charged.
Yeah. Well, you could be charged with worse, I guess.
That's right.
The Hammer Hank Coles picked up the vintage mod win. And it's third year in a row that one of the Coles has gone to victory lane, which him and his son both race. And the modified 4 cylinders, Dale Grubb picked up his second win on opening day, third career win overall. And we debuted the stock 4 cylinders. We had 2 of them, and it was the Koffler Racing number 48. Joseph Jacobs was the winner in the 48J. So there you have last week. So let's talk about this week. 305 sprint cars are invading the ultra fast half mile, and they fly around there. It's going to be interesting to see how they do.
Well, it's interesting, and from a fan's perspective, HB, when we used to have the 305s at Thunder Valley, when you were the photographer, they were a fan favorite because from a visually, optically.
We lost you, Mike. All right,
nothing like getting interrupted during a podcast, right? With a phone call from Miss Mandy Frank, pinup princess from Thunder Roads, Pennsylvania magazine. But let me get back to the sprint cars. I mean, optically, from a fan's perspective, these look. They have the feel. They have the thunder. They have the rumble of a good old fashioned 410. Certainly, with 305 cubic inches, they're not going to put on a show like Lucas Wolf does. But the bottom line is, visually, they have the same size wing. They have the same size front wing. They use the same size right rear tire. For all intents and purposes, if I'm sitting in the stands with my kids and my wife or the family, whatever, these are the real deal. And they put on a great show. And I've known a good friend of mine, Bill Horner from Johnstown, was involved with the 305s for many years when he would come to Bedford. I'm not sure. It used to be called the Laurel Highland Sprint Car Series. I don't know if that's still the case, HB. You can probably elaborate on that. The bottom line is, visually, these cars put on a great show. And our Latrobe lunatic fans are going to love them. I truly believe that. I'm not just blowing smoke. This is going to be a fun show.
And you're right. And some of the top sprint car drivers got their start in 305s, including drivers on a big hot streak right now, Cy Lynch. That's where he learned how to drive a sprint car.
That's right.
And he didn't learn in the wingless. He started out with the 305s, and he progressed, like I said, one of the top drivers in Western Pennsylvania at sprint car racing now. And we also will have the K2 Engineering Crate Lates. And I know you haven't been there yet this year, but obviously Doritsky's fast.
Yes.
What about the elder men of the division? Michael's a younger guy. Ryan Frazee, 1 year removed from graduating high school. He's one of the fast cars. But you got John Over. He picked up a couple wins last year, and you
Yes.
can't forget about our 3-time defending divisional champion Troy Shields.
Well, the thing is, I had the opportunity to see John Over back in the day at Thunder. I remember Troy in his 11 car at Thunder Valley. The bottom line is this dirt track racing is like drag racing to me, which is a great passion of mine. It's if you know how to wheel a race car, if you know how to wheel a hot rod, I don't care whether you're 20, 40, or 60. You put on a great show, and it doesn't matter about experience. It is these young kids. Some people just learn like I wasn't very good in math. A lot of other kids were good in math in school. If you can learn something quicker and master something, these young kids have mastered how to wheel our big, fast, and smooth and multi-grooved half mile. And I trust that. Well, I should say I'm quite sure that Mr. Over and Mr. Shields know that the young guns are gunning after them. So it's going to be great. It's going to be a great competitive division this year, without a doubt, at Latrobe Super Speedway, as I like to call it. I know it's Latrobe Speedway, but to me, it's super.
It is a super place. And I was told that the new grandstands, they started on them earlier this week, so we'll be able to see some progress there. And I'll tell you what, once that's completed, it's going to take us, I think, up to that next level.
It does. It absolutely does. And what the Bates family has done, and I don't need to go over this if I sound like a broken record. Good things, big things are happening there in Westmoreland County, the most coveted piece of real estate, as I like to call it, in Westmoreland County. So I'm looking forward to seeing you, HB, Dennis, the gang in the press box. I'm looking forward to seeing the fans. I'm looking forward to putting my new shirt on.
Yep, you got the official shirt.
So, yeah, we're gonna have a good time. I know Mother Nature has wreaked havoc in a lot of ways with the schedule. And so on. And I certainly was thinking about you guys. I had the opportunity to help out with the Eastern Museum of Motor Racing on Saturday with their fundraiser at Lincoln Speedway in Abbottstown. And HB know the deal that I wasn't able to make it, but I'm very much looking forward to Saturday and seeing everybody and maybe even having a cold beer after the races and celebrating another great night at Latrobe Speedway.
You bringing the Paps this week?
I'm bringing the Paps Blue Ribbon.
Save me one.
I will have it. It'll be cold, icy, and ready to roll. And we'll probably shake some up and dump them on our future winners.
Well, you could always do that too. You know, I've always been known to pull a little bit of water out and get them.
You do, yes, you do, HB.
So, hey, Mike, again, appreciate you joining the team and looking forward to having you there and your voice coming out of that PA system, which it's just natural. It's the old Thunder Valley PA, but it just sounds so natural with your voice coming out.
Well, that's very kind of you, Howie. Listen, I'm just a normal race fan like you. I'm a nobody. I just I enjoy it and have the love and passion just like you do, and all the great fans at Latrobe. So we're certainly going to have a great time Saturday.
Definitely, and you know, while we have a chance, I want to go ahead and thank everybody who helps make racing possible at the track and with the podcast. Right along with Howie, sponsored by Latrobe Speedway and Joe's Body Shop and Towing out of Fairbanks, Pennsylvania.
Very cool.
Stepping up this year and sponsoring the crate division, K2 Engineering, Specialty Metals, Vinyl Destination, Rock Auto sponsors the wristbands, Seal Tight, who came aboard and they're sponsoring the modified 4 cylinders this year, Stone and Company, SMB Promotion, DJS Swang. If we missed anybody, I apologize, but we're also looking for more help to help keep Latrobe going. I mean, the Bates are doing a great job, and we want to keep our purse structure where it's at. If anybody's interested, we're looking for night sponsors, track sponsors, whatever you want. we'd be glad to help you get into auto racing. And
and Howie and I promise you, you will absolutely get your just due over the PA system on Saturday nights. How about it, buddy?
You got it. And
we will get you a return on your investment.
Definitely.
With the amount, how much will tell the world how wonderful you are.
And this week, Mike will be joining us for his first race of the year. It's our second race of the year. And for all the latest information, check out the Latrobe Speedway Facebook page. Also, check out our website. Hey, Mike, I look forward to seeing you this week. And
I love you, brother. I'll see you Saturday.
Thanks a lot. And we'll see you this weekend at the races.
See y'all.